What are these, I hear you ask? Oh, nothing. Just the tears of Mirella's fans. Oh, that's salty. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Hello, everyone. I am Tessellating Hexagons, and yesterday... Oh, God, that happened. Yeah, yesterday was the national final for Spain, and... I'm not surprised that RTVE rarely does national finals if that's how people are going to behave. I promise not to go on about it for too long, because in the end... the winner that was chosen, according to the rules set out by RTVE, was Manel Navarro Quesada with the song Do It For Your Lover, which is in Spanish and English. The title's in English, so that doesn't need translating. Now, in the national final, he performed the version that's mostly in Spanish with the English chorus. There is also a completely English version. Both of those and his national final performance can be found in the video description. So, first impressions. Or before I even get into first impressions of the song, I would like to go on just a little bit of a rant about how disgusting the behaviour of quite a few of the so-called fans have been in the wake of Objetivo Eurovision. But I suspect that such a rant would probably fall on deaf ears, because we get this practically every year that Spain has a national final, for crying out loud. The poor sods at RTVE can't do right for doing wrong, can they? So they used a professional expert jury to break the tie this year. Apparently that was wrong, even though it was written into the rules long before the show even started, so if you weren't happy with it, you could have complained, like, a week ago, perhaps even more. Well, anyway, even if that's not to your taste, in 2014... there was also a tie between Ruth and Briquette, as you'll recall, and they used the televoting to break the tie, and apparently that was wrong too! Bloody hell, Spain! Can't you just grow up like the rest of us? This is why RTVE can never trust you enough to hold national finals with any regularity. Oh, and I guess I should probably also talk about the song that actually won the show. Yeah, it's... pretty chill. Remarkably so in the face of all this opposition, by the way. I mean, yeah, it wasn't my favourite from the selection, but then again, I did like it more than the Diet Jason offering that the Spanish fans, let's call them Spanners for short, based on how they've been behaving. The song that they're so butthurt over, I preferred this. So, what is it about the song that I like then? Well, honestly, I like his package. No, hang on, that came out completely wrong. What I mean is, his face, his voice, his appearance, his personality, and the song all go together really well in one convincing, cohesive whole that makes the song firmly identifiable as Do It For Your Lover, the Spanish entry in Eurovision this year. You can really feel that Manel wrote the song all by himself, from how well it works together to create a performance better than the sum of its parts. Did I mention that music and lyrics by Manel Navarro, by the way, because, yeah, he wrote it all himself. He did the music, he did the lyrics, he did everything. Didn't need a whole team of writers. Anyway, better than the sum of its parts, and those parts individually are also nothing to sneeze at by themselves. For one, I really like the atmosphere of the song. You might hear me say that quite a bit in this review, because I kind of wrote it in a weird order, but yes, I like the atmosphere, I like the vibes, the general feel of it, which is, I know is a really abstract concept, but... it's an enjoyable listen. It's so cool, so relaxed, so stress-free. It's a nice example of what I like to call a sorbet song. You know how I have my lasagna songs and doesn't offer you the cookie songs? Well, this is a sorbet song. I described Portugal 2015 like that as well. It's a light, refreshing palate cleanser to reset your mind and your mood between more emotionally intense, exhausting songs. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have an identity of its own, of course. It just means that it's polite, it's accessible. Anyone can get into it if they want to. So, yeah, the song's fun, cute, it's definitely not trying too hard to be something more than it is, and it's got a really good message, too. Sometimes keeping it simple isn't such a bad idea, so good on you, Manel. Oh, and one thought that I had that I'm not exactly sure where to stick into this part of it, if not off the back of the lyrics. I like how the title is gender neutral. Do it for your lover. Doesn't matter whether that's a boyfriend, a girlfriend, someone non-binary, or, you know, whatever, just do it for someone who cares about you. That's a really nice sentiment, and it's nice, because in English we don't really have a non-gender specific name for a lover, apart from either lover or datemate, as Tumblr has suggested. Because in German and in Dutch you have, well, I don't know what it is in Dutch, but I know it follows the same rules. You have Freund, which, that could mean friend or boyfriend, and Freundin, which means girl or girlfriend, or female friend or girlfriend. Whereas in English and Spanish, well, Spanish has novio, which means boyfriend, and novia, which means girlfriend. So we don't really have non-gender... So it's nice that he's managed to break out of that and say, here's a song that's accessible for everyone without having to change the words around. That's what I'm getting at here. Now, on the flippity-flop of that, what am I not so keen on? Well, one thing that I will address before I get into that is kind of a big thing that I've heard discussed about this song is the not the echo, but like the vocal effect on his voice in the hook of the song. You know, the do it for your la 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 lover, la la la, that bit. Sure, that might not have been considered against the Eurovision rules about having only live vocals in your performance when you get to the stage. But actually, as vocal effects go, this can be reproduced live in accordance with the rules. They just need to have a mixing desk that can take him singing the word lover once and apply that effect to it live on stage. That's fine, that can be done. Failing that, they could just have backing singers. Either way, it's really not a difficult effect to reproduce. There are other songs that I've seen in the past that needed more help than that, so it's no big deal. So I'm not even going to count that as a negative point individually. Although, having said that, I will tie it into the idea that staging may or may not have been a consideration for this one in general. It was just written to be a pop song, and it kind of shows, kind of. Because in the national final, well, I don't want to say his performance was generic, because it wasn't. There had been some thought put into it. Because it was him and a couple of other instrument players and one person on the aforementioned mixing desk doing the... I don't know whether it was live or not, but the... at least simulating them mixing the lover bit so that was still performable live. But he had those, and also a giant LED screen behind him to look like a photograph, which would then change into a whole load of different pictures of people doing date things. And also he had the screen on the floor lit up to look like a beach with, like, you know, waves coming in and out, and like a little stage for him to sing on the stage, like stageception, but in LED form. So it's a cool idea in theory, but given the song's structure, that might oversell the chilled out feel of the song. People might get the impression a bit too quickly and then tune out as a consequence. They might think, oh, right, it's just him on a beach, some photos, chilled out song, yeah, whatever. And they might think, oh, I've heard 10 seconds, I've heard the whole song. So that might cause people to tune out. I know it's a bit of a weird point to make, but that's something that I observed. Given the bounce of the song, it might need a little more choreography than just Manel wandering around the stage, occasionally nodding at his bandmates or whatever, and then letting the screens do all the work behind him. It needs a little bit more than that, but On a similar note, the song itself doesn't do all that much. It does have some build, definitely. It does go on a journey of sorts. It does give you something to listen to. It's not just noise. But it still feels a touch repetitive. And the structure makes it feel as though you could probably cut the song in half and you wouldn't have missed anything. And that is completely fine for if you're just listening to it on the radio or whatever. But at Eurovision, it might need a little more of a draw than that. It might need something to really grab you in and have you listening and make sure that if you leave the room and then come back, you might think, oh, I've missed 30 seconds of this song. I like that. Rather than, oh, I missed 30 seconds? I thought I was gone longer than that. You know, it needs a bit more. But I don't know. It depends how well he can sell it on the night, really. And now for the scores out of 10. Well, I mean, I surprised myself with this, on balance, thinking about it, but my personal score is a 7. Real talk, the more I listen to the song, the more I like it. And that's not for the sake of spiting the Spanners, who are oh so butthurt about this guy winning over the other song. Genuinely, I like the vibes of the song. I like the atmosphere. I like the message. It's cute, it's chilled, it's relaxed, and it feels like it would be an enjoyable listen in the summertime, which I think is more or less the feel he was going for. Because, I mean, by the time we get to May, it may as well be summer. It's, you know, people are going to start thinking about going on holiday after Eurovision's ended, and this could be the hit song of the summer, because it fits. It's got that sort of Troye Sivan kind of feel. And sure, it doesn't stick out all that much, but that's not how this song does, so to speak. It's not the most engaging of rides. It was never intended to be, but it is still worth the investment if you're willing to put the time in. It's nice. I can't put that any other way apart from chilled, relaxed, cool. You know, I keep using these same words, but that's how I feel. Technical score out of 10. 7. Similar story here. A lot of care and effort has been put into developing the atmosphere of the song and giving it lyrics to match, and it all comes together in a delightful, summery package that also happens to sound kind of fitting when you consider it was chosen just a few days before Valentine's Day, just throwing that one out there. So yeah, it's a cute, modern, well-thought-out song with a distinct atmosphere and a cute message. Sure, it is a bit repetitive, and it doesn't go much of anywhere, and that's what holds it back, but what it does a lot better than he's given credit for. I mean, seriously, it's fun. That said, compared to last year, I will open the segment by stating outright that I do prefer Baret's song. I would say But Hear Me Out, but I don't think people need convincing of that. I think a lot of people would just be happy that I'm ruling this way right out of the gate. Again, I'm not siding with the Spanners, but I do think that Say Yay was a bit closer to the Eurovision scene, as it were. At the very least, it was a big song full of positive energy and, well, just full of energy, actually. It was designed to be fun and memorable and to leave an impact and a big smile on your face. Do It For Your Lover is a lot more restrained, a lot more chilled out, there's those words again, and I think that is admirable. It is certainly a valid approach. But if you were to play it and then Say Yay like side by side, not even counting how the public feels about each song, by the way, I suspect that Say Yay would leave a longer lasting impression, simply because it's so much more energetic. So, tastes vary, and Manel's song certainly isn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. I just think that Bareilles' song would leave a little bit more of an impression, but Manel's song certainly isn't deserving of disrespect. Now, if it had to, do I think it would qualify? That is a tough call. Once again, ignoring the tantrums from the Spanners, this one actually could go either way. If it had to, of course, it's Big Five member, doesn't have to qualify, but, if it did have to, on one hand, it could, if it had to, sneak into the final because it's so different, so chilled out, so cool compared to the higher energy levels of France, Italy, Switzerland, and Belarus, and the darker, more intense ballads from basically everyone else so far. But on the other hand, its laid-back approach might miss the mark entirely, causing it to be swallowed up by the other songs, either through force of energy or just by the power of sheer brooding. In the final itself, I admit, I don't foresee it troubling the top 10, but did I not say something similar about What's the Pressure, and then look what happened there? Manel might surprise you. Give him a chance. We'll just have to wait and see. But for the moment, I am going to say, good luck, Manel. I'm not going to address all of Spain because, frankly, the Spanners have kind of lowered you in my estimation. I'm sorry, there are a lot of good people in Spain, but if these are the people that you want representing your fan community, then I don't want to hear it. So good luck, Manel. We will see you in Kiev, and hope that no one attacks you on the way there, because, damn.